रतन एम विश्वेश्वरैया जी के जन्म दिवस यानी 15 सितंबर को मनाया जाता है, को ध्यान में रखते हुए आज के व्याख्यान का विषय है चिरस्थायी ग्रह के लिए इंजीनियर्स की भूमिका, यानी रोल ऑफ इंजीनियर्स फॉर अ सस्टेनेबल लाइफ। मैं डॉक्टर विवेक गुप्ता, विज्ञान भारती हिसार एवं गुरु जम्भेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय हिसार की ओर से आप सभी का हार्दिक स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन। आप सभी का इस व्याख्यान में पधारने पर बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया। यह बड़े गर्व एवं हर्ष की बात है कि आज इस अवसर पर हमारे बीच शिरकत करने पहुंचे हैं मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी, कुलपति हरियाणा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय महेंद्रगढ़। आज के मुख्य वक्ता के रूप में हमारे बीच हैं प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र अनायत जी, कुलपति दीन बंधु छोटू राम विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी विश्वविद्यालय मूर्थल, एवं आज के कार्यक्रम के अध्यक्ष हैं हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति डॉक्टर बलदेव राज कंबोज जी। आप हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति के साथ साथ हरियाणा कृषि विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति भी हैं। मैं आप सभी एवं कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित अतिथि गणों का आज के इस कार्यक्रम में शिरकत करने के लिए एक बार फिर से हार्दिक अभिनंदन, हार्दिक वंदन तथा स्वागत करता हूं। कार्यक्रम के विधिवत शुभारंभ एवं दीप प्रज्वलन के लिए मैं आप सभी का आह्वान करता हूं।
जी शायद आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
वो टैब शेयर करेंगे तब आएगी। यू शेयर द टैब। शेयर करते वक्त आप टैब शेयर करिए तब आएगी आवाज। You share the tab.
धन्यवाद। अब मैं विज्ञान भारती हरियाणा की उपाध्यक्षा एवं विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई की अध्यक्षा प्रोफेसर सुनीता श्रीवास्तव जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वे अतिथियों के स्वागत एवं परिचय संदेश के लिए मंच पर आए। प्रोफेसर सुनीता श्रीवास्तव जी।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद विवेक जी। ये हमारे लिए बहुत गौरव की बात है कि आज हम इंजीनियर दिवस मनाने के लिए हम सब इस मंच से जुड़े हैं, जिसमें बड़े प्रतिष्ठित लोगों का व्याख्यान सुनने का हमें गौरव प्राप्त होगा। हमारे बीच हैं माननीय कुलपति प्रोफेसर बलदेव राज कंबोज जी, जिनकी अध्यक्षता में ये प्रोग्राम किया जा रहा है। वो वाइस चांसलर हैं गुरु जम्बेश्वर यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एंड हरियाणा एग्रीकल्चरल यूनिवर्सिटी। हमारे बीच हैं आदरणीय कुलपति जी, जो कुलपति प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी, जो मुख्य अतिथि हैं और वाइस चांसलर हैं सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ हरियाणा, उनका हार्दिक अभिवादन। हमारे बीच में आदरणीय कुलपति जी कर्नल कमांडेंट प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र कुमार अनायत जी हैं, जो वाइस चांसलर गुरु दीन बंधु छोटू राम यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ साइंस एंड टेक्नोलॉजी के हैं। वो मुख्य वक्ता हैं। आपका भी हार्दिक अभिनंदन और इस कार्यक्रम से जुड़े सभी प्रतिभागियों का हृदय की गहराइयों से स्वागत एवं अभिनंदन। आज हम सब इंजीनियर्स दिवस को मनाने के लिए एकत्रित हुए हैं। सर्वप्रथम सभी इंजीनियर्स को हमारी पृथ्वी को बहुत बेहतर और तकनीकी रूप से उन्नत बनाने के लिए, उसमें महत्वपूर्ण भूमिका निभाने के लिए कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद एवं बधाई। जैसा कि सभी को विदित है, यह दिवस हर वर्ष मोक्ष गंडम विश्वेश्वरा को श्रद्धांजलि के रूप से में मनाया जाता है, जो हैदराबाद के बाढ़ रक्षक प्रणाली के डिजाइन में बहुत सक्रिय रहे और जो प्रतिष्ठित कृष्ण सागर बांध के मुख्य अभियंता के रूप में जिन्होंने कार्य किया और उन्होंने एशिया के सबसे बड़े जलाशय का निर्माण किया। तो उनको श्रद्धांजलि के रूप में हम ये दिवस मनाते हैं, जिनकी 160वीं जयंती इस वर्ष है। हमारे इंजीनियर्स ने अपनी बेहतरीन योगदान देकर भारत को आत्मनिर्भर बनने के प्रयास से अद्भुत योगदान दिया है। यह इंजीनियरिंग ही है जो मानवता की प्रगति को तीव्र गति देती है। प्रगति की शुरुआत जो बल्ब बनाने से लेकर शुरू हुई, वो आज के दौर में स्मार्टफोन, ड्रोन, एरोप्लेन वगैरह वगैरह बड़ी बड़ी चीजें हमारे बीच में हमें दिखाई देती हैं। न ही केवल विश्व में भारत ने अपने इंजीनियर्स और डॉक्टर्स के लिए भारत जो है जाना जाता है, और इंजीनियरिंग नेता जो आजकल के बहुत बड़े इंजीनियरिंग नेता हुए हैं, जैसे सुंदर पिचाई हुए हैं, सत्या नडेला हुए हैं, तो क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग के द्वारा एक बहुत बड़े संसार को एक हमारी छोटी सी हथेली पर लाकर उन्होंने खड़ा कर दिया है। तो पूरे विश्व में इंडिया के इंजीनियर्स बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं और इंडिया की बहुत बड़ी पहचान है इस तरह से। और हमारे यहाँ इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट भी जो हुए हैं, टाटा स्टील के और रिलायंस इंडस्ट्रीज के, इनका बहुत बड़ा योगदान रहा है, ना ही हमारी इकोनॉमी को अपलिफ्ट करने के लिए, बल्कि उन्होंने बहुत लोगों को काम दिया है। चाहे आप इसरो ले लें, चाहे सिलिकॉन वैली ले लें, चाहे स्पेस प्रोग्राम ले लें, इंजीनियर्स का बहुत बड़ा योगदान है। और आज के दिन में हमारे को बहुत बड़ी चुनौती है। हमें अपने आप को निपुण करना है, इंजीनियर्स को और साइंस से जुड़े लोगों को, जिसमें डेटा साइंस, आर्टिफिशियल इंटेलिजेंस, मशीन लर्निंग, साइबर सिक्योरिटी, क्लाउड कंप्यूटिंग जैसे बहुत सारे डिजिटल डोमेन्स आते हैं। ये आज समय की बहुत बड़ी आवश्यकता है। तो आज के हमारे मुख्य वक्ता प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र कुमार अनायत जी हैं। उनका मैं CV आप लोगों से शेयर करना चाहती हूँ। उनका बहुत ही प्रभावशाली CV है और वो मैं अंग्रेजी में पढ़ूंगी। प्रोफेसर कर्नल कमांडेंट प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र कुमार अनायत जी का, he has a deep passion for teaching with an great love towards printing, engineering and media sciences. And he is now consequently he has got second term as Vice Chancellor of Deen Bandhu Chotu Ram University of Science and Technology, Sonipat. He was granted honorary colonel rank on 22nd February 2020 and appointed as Colonel Commandant at NCC, considering his unparalleled contributions in academia, research and administration. So he has also a proponent of new industrial convergence theory, and widely he has traveled globe for education, research, seminar, conferences and various tie-ups. He has visited many industries, top industries, and research centers in India and abroad. A highly reputed researcher and academician in the field of print and media technology. So, based on his contributions to the global graphic arts industry, Printing Industries of America has conferred its most coveted Global Academic Excellence Award, popularly known as Oscar in Printing, in Chicago in the year 2011. Also, in the year 2013, the apex body of Indian printers, AIFMP, that is All India Federation of Master Printers, conferred Samman Award during 60th year Diamond Jubilee celebrations by His Excellency Dr. K. Rosaiya, the Governor of Tamil Nadu, and Print Excellence Award in the year 2017 at Amritsar by Punjab Governor, His Excellency VP Singh Badnoor. So he is visiting scholar to Technic Universities, Chemnitz, and an international professor at Zagreb University, Zagreb. Croatian Academy of Engineering bestowed its prestigious international membership, and Indian Society of Analytical Scientists honored him with the Lifetime Achievement Award in 2015.
ऑडियो नहीं मिल रहा. आई थिंक देयर इज नो ऑडियो. मैडम का कोई नेटवर्क इशू तो नहीं आ गया है? एटलीस्ट अनुराग जी, आपको ऑडियो आ रहा है?
हाँ जी, एक मिनट जरा मैं
जी सर, थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम है ऑडियो का. मुझे लगता है इंटरनेट
एक्टिविटी प्रॉब्लम है.
हाँ, ऐसा कुछ लगता है इशू.
यस. It is fine. It's more of my introduction, so it's fine. We can go ahead. No issue.
Yeah, maybe you can go ahead. Yeah.
So the next turn must be mine, I believe.
हाँ सर.
Yes.
अभी क्योंकि मैम का कनेक्शन
No issue.
नहीं हो पा रहा है, तो मैं आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूं कि आप अपना व्याख्यान आप शुरू कर सकते हैं सर. हमें बहुत ही हर्ष का विषय है हमारे लिए कि आज आप हमारे बीच हैं. आपको मैं अपना व्याख्यान शुरू करने के लिए मंच पर आमंत्रित करता हूं.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Vivek Gupta ji. My heartfelt thanks to Madam Srivastava ji. It was all technical issues. It happens because here also it is raining heavily now, thunderstorm. So electricity is a problem. No, that's why she had to cut in between, I believe. I don't know. And our respected Vice Chancellor of Guru Jambheshwar University, Professor B.R. Kamboji, Professor Tankeshwar Kumar ji, and other dignitaries, because I can't see everybody in the screen now, but I can see Dr. Hari Kaushik ji and Pratap Malik ji and a couple of other people. So my humble pranam to everybody who are all converged for this important day. First of all, I take an excuse in delivering my content in English because I feel I'll be more comfortable in communicating my entire content to you, and the audience also are in that level, and it is fine with them also, I know. It's a proud moment for any engineer because I'm a hardcore engineer. I did my B.Tech in printing and media engineering, then M.Tech in mechanical engineering, specialized in printing and packaging, and PhD also in printing, and did a master's in printing and packaging from postgraduate diploma from Germany. All were from printing and a hardcore engineer's job. So I was in machine building many years with a company called Heidelberg in Germany. Before that, in teaching, fundamentally a teacher by choice. So I'm proud to be a teacher. So before beginning, I like to chant a sloka from the Yajurveda, which all of us know. We all have heard it. Many of us must have chanted it, and we do it in most of our pujas. That I'm not trying to become a pseudo scientist by starting something like this, but I just want to connect the our Sanskriti, what way it is connected to nature, our Bharatiyata, our thinking process in this nation, what way it is connected to nature and engineering. That's the reason. Om Dhyau Shanti, Antariksham Shanti, Prithvi Shanti, Apa Shanti, Oshadhaya Shanti, Vanaspataya Shanti, Vishwe Deva Shanti, Brahma Shanti, Sarvam Shanti, Shanti Reva Shanti, Sama Shanti Redhi, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. The interesting part of this sloka is we begin with Om Dhyau Shanti. Dhyau means Surga, heaven, outside the planet Earth. So our prayer starts with the telling we want Shanti in the external world, outside the planet Earth. हम वहां से शुरू करते हैं. Then Antariksham Shanti, all the environment we need peace. And then comes Prithvi Shanti. I mean, the soil, the planet Earth where we live, we need Shanti in that. Then comes Oshadhaya Shanti. All medicinal plants, we need Shanti. Vanaspataya Shanti. All forest, we need Shanti in forest, vegetation. Vishwe Deva Shanti. I mean, the entire universal consciousness, irrespective of your religion, whoever you are, you may be a Christian or a Muslim or a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Parsi or a Jain, whoever you believe, that Vishwa Deva, the universal consciousness which controls the entire planet Earth, we need Shanti in that also. And Brahma Shanti, complete universe, we need Shanti. Sarvam Shanti, in everything we need peace. Shanti Reva Shanti, we need peace in peace. Shanti alone can bring Shanti. And Sama Shanti Reti. We want the Shanti, peacefulness everywhere. I believe when we look at the situation around the globe today, there is no better Shanti mantra which we can remember at this point of time, specifically for the topic in discussion today. What is happening in our neighboring countries, which we know. So, we are the only country which talked about the nature. We want to have peace in everything. And look at the beauty of every Shanti mantra. We say 3 times Shanti. There is no Shanti mantra will end up without 3 times chanting Shanti. So, as per the rule, our Vedic ritual, our system is, the first Shanti you have to chant loudly. That is the loudest one. And the second one is little low volume. And the third one is the lowest. So the first Shanti is for the entire planet Earth. So we will say Om Shanti. And second Shanti is little low Shanti. Because that is for the society or the people who are listening you. So the second Shanti, we want all healthy conditions, peace among all of you who are all listening me. And the third Shanti is for the Atma Shanti. That is for the Self Shanti. So this is the prayer by which we begin everything. So I do believe this is the best concept which we have to begin with. Because as an Indian, as a Bharatiyan, this is the best concept as an engineer we should look into. Now let me come to my topic in discussion. I was just thinking whether I should do an extempore talk to you or should I make some points and share it. Because for an electronic platform like this, since no audience is sitting in front of you, it is very difficult to keep people alive 20 minutes to 30 minutes maximum, nothing more than that. So to bring maximum content into the people, to justify the topic in discussion, I decided to put it up in some points in a paper. So let me start by asking you a simple question to each one of you. Who are we? I am not asking that philosophical question, who am I? Main kaun hu? That is answered by our rishis. I'm not asking that. This is a simple, lively question for every engineer or every scientist. We need to know, who are we? Are we engineers? Or are we the technologists? Or are we the just educationists? Or are we the students? Or are we the human beings first and everything else after that? This is a big question. So this consciousness is very important in today's era. So I must tell you why this. Because, my dear friends, we literally are what we eat and where we live. Two things are very important. So we literally are what we eat and where we live. So this is the most important consciousness we must have today. So it goes without saying environmental conditions and determine how human genes are expressed. Everything from the food we eat to the landscape we inhabit are epigenetic factors that shape up with our genes and are activated to give us a unique physical and psychological characteristics. So those who understand genomics can say with authority that genetic variations are the causes of many deadly diseases we see around, or humans loses the immunity due to these genetic mutations or changes. That is what we are facing in the last 1.5 years due to this corona or COVID. It can also shape the progression of diseases like cancer, maybe COVID, and influence child development and aging. So in short, landscapes play an even a greater role in shaping human health than previously what we understood. This is the basic lesson what we are learning. So today's topic of role of engineers for a sustainable planet is not just a topic to dwell into your career ambitions. If there are some students who are listening, of course there could be possibility, but it is not just another topic for a PhD paper or not just an avenue for celebrating an engineer's day. It is something that can influence the living or the life of all creatures in this universe, including you, me, or I will say, nobody can escape from the impact of what we eat and where we live. Everyone is impacted by this. So what better topic could be discussed on this day, my dear budding engineers, those who are listening me, because I know GJU, Guru Jambeshwar University, is one of the best technical universities in this part of the country. We are all benchmarking with Guru Jambeshwar in many areas to improve ourselves. So all these students who are listening me, this is important. So you can design nuclear stations, rocket engines that can have the traveling to moon. Maybe better hyperloops may come with products using AI, artificial intelligence, or machine learning to mimic human brain in the coming time, or even mind for tomorrow. It can come tomorrow. And something like in my school days, I learned all in South. So I learned a Bible quote which says, "For what profits a man if he gains the whole world but loses his own soul?" So that is very important. There is no point in losing the soul and gaining something else. Similarly, what gain are we talking if we are designing better gadgets, instruments, and machineries, but loses the beauty and delicate fabric of where we inhabit? So remember again, my dear friends, we are what we eat and what we breathe and what we live. This is what makes all of us. So let me take you into a sustainable engineering first, which you definitely understand. It is the process of designing or operating systems such that they use energy and resources sustainably. Or in other words, at a rate that does not compromise the natural environment or the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. Simply saying, sustainable engineering is designed by thinking of future generations. And today we also talk about all related to design by thinking or design by nature. So not their greed. Today's design is not their greed or comfort, but what they eat and where they live is more important. So as engineers, we have the huge responsibility of designing almost everything that is there in this world. Not just building and plans, we design the transporting systems, mobile phones, MRI machines, utensils, pen and pencils, we hold on to even a minute pin and clips. Everything, there is a hand of an engineer behind it. It is the engineers who visualize all these, design it and produce them. So I must say, every human being who is capable of designing anything to that works efficiently is an engineer. It has nothing to do with a particular qualification or stamping of a BTech or MTech or ME or a PhD. So even a bird who builds its nest to be hanged on a tree is an engineer, according to me. If you look at the honeycomb, the way it designs, it's such a beautiful design. 5,000 years ago, they have done it today architects are looking at it to the nature and learn how to design such a honeycomb. So all these are important at this point of time. So when we design something, what shall come first to our mind? For quite some time, it was cost, efficiency, speed, aesthetics. All these were talking, nothing else. But the bigger question in today's world is, are they enough? The answer is an emphatic no. First and foremost, we must realize again and again, because I'm repeating it here because it should go to the brain of every student who listens me. We are what we eat and where we live. It's very important. So think of nature first and this planet first. That is the concept of design by nature. Almost all over the developed country, they are all in this line. This explains the role of engineers for a sustainable planet. So in the context of climate change and the many recent hurricanes, earthquakes and wildfires, designers must be cognizant of the lessons of nature. Designers or engineers cannot simply resist these human and nature-induced forces, but instead need to intervene in ways that account for and respond to them. This could mean choosing not to build somewhere, choosing to build differently somewhere, or just taking the long view over short-term fixes. Perhaps the signs have long been there to design in this way, but turning to nature should empower designers to heed their call. To design with the nature today means to survey the history of nature and getting inspired by it. Now more than ever, to design with nature, we must listen and respond to the experiences we see in the daily life. We must learn to see nature as a breadth of living systems, the flora and fauna that inhabit our world, and the climate and the resources that are intrinsic to a resilient and productive planet. And just as we relate with one another, we interact with our environment intuitively, emotionally, and intellectually. We directly shape the designed and manufactured environments we live within, while indirectly influencing the feral environment beyond. We actively change, willfully neglect, and at times attempt to preserve or restore nature. Our work embodies our values and our connection to the world and one another. By striving to advance the interplay and respect between ourselves and nature, we can encourage generosity, offer inspiration, and embody rational functionality within the constructed environment. As engineers, we must respect land, water, and vegetation. This respect must be the basis of our career. Our goal and our job is to inform and educate our clients, officials, colleagues, community, and our students of the basic principles from design with nature. And if education does not work for this, it is our responsibility to advocate loudly for sustainable design, at least now. So now that technology has advanced and a more powerful data-based tool is available than ever before, we can model natural process and outcomes as never before. And I always believe humans are the most complex and amazing design and engineering or technology that Creator has ever created and ever existed in this planet. Think of how our heart circulates blood all over the body parts. Those who understand the flow valves must know how complex a system is, how the neural systems are wired. Can anyone design such a system? How flexibly your arm and legs turns and moves. Have anyone has a better gadget than a human hand? Can a robotic hand move so flexibly and with fineness? Every scientist is looking at human in nature to mimic how it functions and how it works. If humans are made with a sustainable concept, this is an important concept I want to communicate. Yesterday it took me half an hour to get into this point, because what I should speak to these kids who are listening to me. If humans are made with a sustainable concept, why must not make everything else the same way? Whatever we are designing, we don't bother. Such a complex body of human, which is sustainable, Creator has created in such a way. And humans, after we ease our life in this earth, we just get composed in weeks. Only our bonds take little more time to decay. So this Pancha Bhutas, what we talk about, Prithvi, Tejo, Vayu, Akash, how the disintegration is happening, we all know. So this is the principle we have to impart in every design which we look into. Think how the nature has designed our body. While doing all it is intended function that lasts for 7 to 8 decades with the minimum maintenance, all of it just decay in 30 days or so. The simple plastic bags produced by us cannot decay even after a decade. They're just becoming a big heap all around. Think again for this. Does the pen and a small pin you use can be composted or not? It's a big question we have to ask ourselves. So the point I make here is very, very simple. We must engineer by keeping nature in our mind always, for the future generations in our consciousness. When we start working, we must think of sustainability, wastages it produces, the impact it leaves on this planet Earth, what we eat and what we live. That's why I want to propagate this question, which I just put day before yesterday. What we eat and what we live is the question we have to ask ourselves all the time. We must start design for zero wastage. Those who know additive manufacturing now, one of the 9 technologies of Industry 4.0, Japanese are already moved to Society 5.0, the next level, where they talk about nature only. The future of manufacturing proposes production with zero waste or minimum waste. It uses the powders or material that is not used again, recycled and reused. Likewise, we need more such manufacturing methods and processes. I have said and enough and more about design by nature, sustainability and zero waste, etc. You must be wondering, is this practical? Does anyone or any industry practices this? Yes, industries are following this now. Some more diligently than others. One such industry, what I can explain is my own industry, that is printing and packaging, because I cannot give you any examples of other industry. I can cite something from my own industry, how we are working in our field. I'm a printing engineer, as I told you, or as introduced by Madam Srivastava. I earned everything in my life by being a proud printer or a proud printing packaging engineer and as a teacher. And for all my achievements, I bow my head to my industry. My respect is and gratitude is to my industry. So There are greater misconceptions about my industry. This is what I want to bring you today as a very special topic from my industry, which is an integral part of all of our life. We use the benefits of printing, packaging and paper, each one of us, more than you use mobile phones or a Google. You may not be conscious about it. From the very moment you wake up to going retire to the bed for the day in the night, you come across printing, paper and packaging at every touch point. Let us see the sustainable practices, some of them what we printing engineers practice for a while. How many of you think that paper is made from trees that grows in a forest? We see every day that in the emails we receive that to love this nature, you shall not print this. By reducing paper use, you are becoming more responsible to nature. Let me explain the truth. It is totally wrong. It is not possible for you to go to a forest and cut some trees and make a paper. It is not possible. It's like farming and industry. It is just like how you cultivate wheat, all the crops like wheat or rice or anything else, or that matter like sugarcane. Can you say, nobody will tell that how many hectares of sugarcane farming you are cutting every year. Nobody cry about it. But when it comes to paper, everyone talks like you are going to cut the forest and spoil. My dear friends, it's a wrong misconception. It's a complete misconception. Reason being, you cannot go to a forest and cut a tree and make a paper. You have to plant it. And for plantation, you need separate place. Reclamated land they are doing. ITC is doing project. Balarpur Industries here in our own state, they are doing these projects. So by doing this, actually you are serving the environment. This is what I want to share with you. So by reducing paper, you are becoming more responsible to, using paper. And paper is one of the few truly sustainable products. Paper is based on wood and natural and renewable material. As young trees grow, they absorb a lot of CO2 and produce a lot of oxygen. Furthermore, a wood product, paper, also continues to store carbon throughout its lifetime. So it is completely recyclable, compostable, making it most sustainable material. You can't compare the carbon footprint or environmental hazards created by plastic or e-waste or impact of a digital communication over the planet. You know that the total internet alone consumes 1,500 times more energy than the entire airline industry, what it is producing every day. Every time you need to use the same energy. So we have to rethink on this. So the first misconception is sourcing of paper. Can anyone imagine ever going to a forest and cutting this? This is what I was trying to tell you. So when a farmer who cultivates paper, he is running a family. Lakhs and lakhs of farmers in this country, they are surviving just like a wheat farmer, just like a rice farmer. He is running a family. So it's an ecosystem. It's not just spoiling the nature at all. So if at all anybody is talking about this, it is completely wrong. And once you print something on a paper, you don't need any further energy at all. You can keep it for 1 generation, 2 generation. I have a Bhagavad Gita which is 300 years old. I can still read it. There is no energy loss at all. But every time when I open my mobile phone, every time I open my laptop, my energy consumption is same. I am spoiling, I am producing carbon. So I am producing CO2. So that is not the right way to do. So we have to support these farmers, in fact. So just take the example of ITC, paper board company, total plantation as of March 31st, 2021, stand over 8.78 million acres, which is a reclamated land. So that produces a lot of oxygen. In Haryana, we have 10.925 acres where they are producing. So they are enabling small farmers to earn sustainable livelihood from unproductive land holdings. It is just like you just see most of these items which we produce, like whatever vegetable you use, it is not natural. We never bother about it. You cannot go to a forest and get some bindi or bengan. It's not possible to get. Man has created it for ourselves. It is an artificial product which we produce. And today you think that it is what natural which has come. It's not like that. We produced it. So same way, sugarcane, rice, you can't go to a forest and get some rice. You have to cultivate it. You have to do it. You have to spend a lot of energy and water. That's the same thing in this. So this is the way we have to change our thinking process. So a survey conducted in Europe is very interesting. 65% believe the European forests are shrinking, but that is wrong. In fact, they are growing in size. You look at the history of Delhi today, you see the picture of Delhi 50 years ago and today, you will see Delhi's greenery has tremendously improved. Just by seeing the picture, you can see. This UN was actually thanking India for improving the green and vegetation, what we are doing now. So in Europe, 1,500 football pitches every day it is increasing. And in 8% in Europe were believed that paper recycling rate is something like 60, but that is not true. It is 72%. The newspaper, what you read, every newsprint is 6 times recycled. It's a recycled paper. There is nothing to worry about it. So this is very important. We all have to think about all this. So this rules implies to almost all industries, whichever industry you are belongs to. So you have to think of it and how we can improve it. This is very much thought. This should be the thought process of today for all these engineers coming from different branches of engineering. I also just want to give you some examples as highlights from other industry, which could be sensible to all these listeners. Coca-Cola has declared that they intended to make 100% of their packaging recyclable globally by 2025. I am not marketing for Coca-Cola to drink, but the thought process what they are taking. You don't need to drink Coca-Cola at all. It is up to you. But use at least 50% recycled material in our packaging by 2030 they have taken. Nestle is doing 100% of its packaging recycled by 2025. Unilever has announced that by 2025 they will half the use of virgin plastic what they use, by reducing our absolute use of plastic packaging by more than 100,000 tons and ensure that 100% plastic packaging is designed to be fully reusable, recyclable and compostable. So this is what the way the industries are changing. And if you read the book of there's Harari on 21 lessons for the 21st century, we know that AI is going to play a big role in the coming time, where also the first focus, one of the focus he has given is on consciousness, how we can improve it, how we can bring it. So the thought process of every engineer today should be like the land where we live is not gifted by your grandparents, not by your grandfather or by your father. It is a land which we have borrowed from our grandchildren. So we all have the responsibility to give it back intact in the coming time. That's very clear. This is what we have to keep in mind. So as an engineer, any activity you do, anything you design, always look at nature and design with nature. Go with nature. Never ever go against nature. Again, remembering all these, what our forefathers, great rishis, what they talked about our nature. Never ever go against nature. In Bharat, we taught only one thing to every people. Never ever don't try to do anything against nature. Once I remember in 70s or 80s, somebody was talking about Ganga pollution projects. So Ganga cleaning project, when it was started, Swami Chinmayananda said, you don't need to talk about Ganga cleaning project. Instead, you talk about a project where you say Ganga non-polluting project. Ganga Mata know how to clean herself, which we have seen in the COVID period. Within 2 months' time, Ganga has become so clean. Ganga Mata has become so clean. It know how to clean up herself. We don't need. So the project is more of how to non-pollute the Ganga. So the thinking process should be something like this. So I have to tell this, friends, like always remember the planet Earth where we live is not gifted by your father or not gifted by your grandfather. It is borrowed from your grandchildren, and we all have the responsibility to give it back intact to them. So with that oath today, I want to conclude thanking all of you for giving me an opportunity to share my thought process here, and have a safe time ahead. Thank you so much.
थैंक यू सर, बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। आपने बहुत ही सुंदर एवं व्यापक रूप से हमारे आज के इस विषय को छुआ है, और ये जिस तरह से आपने इस विषय को छुआ, इसको टच किया, हाउ यू इलैबोरेटेड दिस टॉपिक वाज रियली beyond our imagination. So it was very beautiful way to speak about the topic, and Professor Deepak Kedia will be detailing about the topic at the end. So thank you so much, sir. हमारे लिए यह अत्यंत गौरव एवं हर्ष का विषय है कि आज हमारे बीच विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई के संरक्षक, पूर्व कुलपति गुरु जम्भेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी विश्वविद्यालय हिसार एवं वर्तमान में हरियाणा केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय महेंद्रगढ़ के कुलपति प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी भी मौजूद हैं। मान्यवर, आपकी शख्सियत से सभी श्रोतागण भली भांति परिचित हैं। आपने जिस प्रतिभा एवं पूर्णतः समर्पण से गुरु जम्भेश्वर विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी विश्वविद्यालय को नई ऊर्जा एवं दिशा देते हुए शिखर पर ले जाने का कार्य किया है, उसके लिए यह विश्वविद्यालय सदैव आपका ऋणी रहेगा। आपके मार्गदर्शन में गुरु जम्भेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय एवं विज्ञान भारती हिसार निरंतर प्रयासरत रहकर नित्य नई सफलताएं अर्जित कर रहे हैं। मैं आपसे विनम्र अनुरोध करता हूं कि आप हम सभी को अपना संदेश एवं मार्गदर्शन प्रदान करें। माननीय प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी। सर,
नमस्कार जी। हेलो जी। Yes.
yes sir.
Yeah. I just arrived. It was just changing the devices. Yeah, I just reached home. So
It's
it was.
okay, sir.
It is great that our Vigyan Bharati is celebrating this Engineers Day, and it was just wonderful. I was listening to Colonel Commandant Professor Rajendra Nath ji. Yeah, it's a great, you're wonderful. You have wonderfully explained that how you can really be the engineers who can look for the sustainable development, and yeah, it's very true that God is a real engineer who has made everything sustainable. You know, talking the human parts, human body, you think of any real thing, it is unimaginable. Everything is under sustainable, and even if you look at the smallest creature of the God, it is sustainable and it is functioning, and even the largest one. So everything is marvelous. You have really explained how we really live and where we live and what we eat and where we live. Right? That's very, very important, and that shows how our engineers should really work for it. and you also explained about the printing industry. We are all aware that how we are trying to use the electronic media, and we're trying to avoid the papers, and the people have stopped reading the books even, and people go for all this, and you have very well explained that the printing, the paper is in the sustainable list, right? It is very that you grow the trees, and from the tree or the plants, whatever we eat from the plants. Otherwise, also otherwise the life of the tree is means more than the plants which we eat every day or something like that. But that doesn't matter, because it is you have to it grows in a very big quantity. Also, the trees grows in very big quantity. The size is very large, and so we have to grow it, and we can still use it for the papers. And that is wonderful. You have explained that it is fully sustainable things, and it is biodegradable and everything. It's just wonderful having a different thought after maybe after so much of research you have carried out. You are one of the leading printing technologists in this country. I really appreciate the way you took it today as a talk as an engineer's contribution towards the sustainable development. And yesterday also we had this Engineers Day. It was actually on the 15th, but as a VIBA activities, we have to do it with our university's activities. And we are saying that the engineers rule the country, rule the world. But I said that engineers really have to innovate. You really have to innovate every time. The technology we say is changing very fast, but we should look for now the time has come really that we have to look for only the innovative technologies that are sustainable, and so that because we can say that we have a lot of things available to us, but we should now accept only those innovation which leads to the sustainable development. And that is I think a wonderful message our panel commandant Professor Rajendra Anayat ji has given to us, that the peace, it started with the peace. That is what every country should look for. Now it is mostly we talk about in India, but it all happens if we look for the sustainable development. And he related it to the peace also. He related it to the where we live and what we eat. That is a very, very it's a challenging job you have done, sir. It's great. I really appreciate and really thank you, and also all the my VIBA ISAR activity and organizers and GJU Vice Chancellor, who is presiding this, and really thankful to him also, and all I can see various faces from the GJU, and I really thank all of them for attending this, and that's what I look at from the side of the VIBA. So thank you very much. Jai Hind, Jai Bharat.
थैंक यू सर, आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। आपके संदेश के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर। आपके ही मार्गदर्शन में विभा ने शुरू से लेके आज तक इतना अपनी जर्नी की है, तो आपके लिए कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। आज का कार्यक्रम हमारे विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति डॉक्टर बलदेव राज कंबोज जी की अध्यक्षता में हो रहा है। आप विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई के संयोजक भी हैं। इसके साथ ही आप हरियाणा कृषि विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति भी हैं। आपके कठिन परिश्रम, निरंतर प्रयास एवं मार्गदर्शन की बदौलत हिसार के दोनों विश्वविद्यालय देश भर में प्रतिष्ठित हैं एवं नई नई सफलताएं अर्जित कर रहे हैं। आपसे मेरा विनम्र आग्रह है कि आप अपने अध्यक्षीय उद्बोधन से हमारा मार्गदर्शन करें। माननीय डॉक्टर बलदेव राज कंबोज जी।
सभी को मेरा नमस्कार। आज इस इंजीनियर्स डे के कार्यक्रम में मुख्य अतिथि के रूप में उपस्थित कर्नल कमांडेंट प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र अनायत जी, माननीय कुलपति, इस कार्यक्रम के में थोड़ा सा मुख्य अतिथि माननीय प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी हैं, जो केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय के कुलपति हैं, और मुख्य वक्ता के रूप में जो अभी संदेश वक्तव्य रखा गया प्रोफेसर अनायत जी द्वारा। निश्चित रूप से ये सब होने के बाद बोलने को कुछ नहीं रह गया, लेकिन फिर भी क्योंकि ये भूमिका मैंने अदा करनी है तो मैं टंकेश्वर कुमार जी का कि उन्होंने समय निकाला, मैं जान सकता हूं कि वो ट्रैवल में ही उन्होंने अपना मुख्य अतिथि का संबोधन दिया। साथ में माननीय प्रोफेसर अनायत जी का भी, जिन्होंने एक बात में सारा कुछ जो सारांश के रूप में कहा कि कहीं ना कहीं सस्टेनेबिलिटी के इर्द गिर्द हम कार्य करेंगे तभी ये सार्थक हो पाएगा, ताकि हमारी पीढ़ियां सुरक्षित रह सकें। और ये आवश्यक भी है, क्योंकि जो अभी तक इंजीनियर्स ने कार्य किया, यो तो उसमें समाज के हर वर्ग का योगदान है, और तभी हम, चाहे वो खाद्य सुरक्षा हो, चाहे पोषण सुरक्षा हो, उसमें हम बहुत आगे आए हैं। और इस स्तर तक आगे आए कि आज हम खाद्य सुरक्षा के साथ साथ दूसरे विदेशी लोगों के लिए भी खाद्य उत्पाद करने में सक्षम रहे हैं। इसमें इंजीनियर्स का एक बहुत बड़ा रोल रहा। लेकिन अभी तक जितना भी हमने कार्य किया, वहां पे संसाधनों का कोई बहुत बड़ा अभाव नहीं था, चाहे वो प्राकृतिक संसाधन ही क्यों ना हो। और जब ये हमारी आबादी इतनी तेजी से बढ़ रही है, तो हमें केवल एक ही चुनौती थी कि चाहे इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर का डेवलपमेंट की बात हो, चाहे फूड सिक्योरिटी की बात हो, या अन्य किसी भी व्यवस्था की बात हो, उसमें केवल आगे बढ़ना था। कोई ऐसा व्यवधान नहीं था कि किसी भी रिसोर्स की हमारे पास बहुत ज्यादा कमी थी। लेकिन मौजूदा समय में दो चुनौतियां हमारे सामने कि आज हमें एक सस्टेनेबल ग्रोथ तो देना ही देना है, साथ में चाहे वो प्राकृतिक संसाधन या अन्य संसाधन है, उनकी भी कहीं ना कहीं हमें कमी नजर आ रही है। तो उनको संरक्षित रखना है, सुरक्षित रखना है अपनी पीढ़ियों के लिए। बड़ा अच्छा कहा कि जो जमीन, पानी और वातावरण, ये हमारा धरोहर नहीं है, बल्कि ये हमने अपने बच्चों से उधार लिया। ये बात, ये कथन बिल्कुल सत्य है कि हमारी पीढ़ियां तभी सुरक्षित रह सकती हैं कि जब हम इनको संचित करें। तो अब सबसे बड़ी चुनौती हमारे इंजीनियर्स के लिए यही है कि हमें, अभी हम लंबी दूरी तक तय करके आए हैं, लेकिन अभी और बहुत दूरी तय करनी है। और इस पूरे प्रयास में यदि आवश्यक है तो कम संसाधनों में हमें अधिक पैदा करना है, कम संसाधनों में हमें सस्टेनेबिलिटी भी देनी है। और जो हम चाहे कोई इक्विपमेंट ईजाद करते हैं, या किसी इलेक्ट्रॉनिक्स की बात करते हैं, या आज सैटेलाइट फार्मिंग की बात करते हैं, या हम ग्रीन एनर्जी की बात करते हैं, उसमें भी जो उपयोग हो रहा है, कहीं ना कहीं वो हमारी प्रकृति जो है, जो हमारा इकोसिस्टम है, हमारी जो वेजिटेशन है, हम लोगों का जो एक स्वस्थ वातावरण में हम रहते हैं, उसके साथ तो कोई व्यवधान पैदा नहीं कर रहा है। तो हमें अभी चुनौती सबसे बड़ी यही है कि हम लोग आगे तो बढ़ेंगे, लेकिन इस चीज का भी ध्यान में रखेंगे कि हमारा जो भी धरोहर प्रकृति ने हमें दी है उसको भी हम संचित रखेंगे, सुरक्षित रखेंगे, ताकि हमारे आने वाली पीढ़ियां सुरक्षित रह सके। इसी चीज को ध्यान में रखते हुए ये एक चैलेंज हम सब लोगों के लिए है। और क्योंकि आज इंजीनियर्स डे है, उन्होंने जो कार्य किया उसी की बदौलत आज हम इस देश को आगे बढ़ा पाए हैं। और इसी दिशा के अंदर इसी तेजी के साथ हम आगे बढ़ते रहेंगे, ताकि हम पथ प्रदर्शक तो बने, साथ में अपने संसाधनों को भी संचित रखें। ऐसा ही कुछ आज के वक्तव्य से निकल कर आए हैं। मैं आज के इस कार्यक्रम में मुख्य वक्ता के रूप में उपस्थित कर्नल कमांडेंट प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र अनायत जी का, प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी का बहुत ही आभारी भी हूँ, धन्यवादी भी हूँ कि उन्होंने तमाम व्यवस्थाओं के मद्देनजर समय भी निकाला और ऐसी बातें सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को बताई कि जिससे कि हमें चुनौतियों का भी पता लगा है और हमें किधर जाना है उसके बारे में भी चर्चा की है। मैं मान्यवर आप दोनों का बहुत ही तहे दिल से विज्ञान भारती की तरफ से, गुरु जम्बेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय की तरफ से इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित विभाग के सभी कार्यकारिणी के सदस्य माननीय प्रताप जी को मैं देख पा रहा हूँ, हरदेव जी को देख पा रहा हूँ, विवेक जी हैं, केडिया जी हैं, बहुत से लोग हैं और डॉक्टर बरवा भी नजर आ रहे हैं। संख्या भी अच्छी आज रही है। तो मैं सभी जो भी उपस्थित विश्वविद्यालय के अध्यापक गण हैं, डीन डायरेक्टर्स हैं और स्टूडेंट्स भी यहाँ पे शामिल हैं, मैं सभी की तरफ से आपका आभारी हूँ, धन्यवादी हूँ। और इस कार्यक्रम की रूपरेखा रचने में प्रोफेसर सुनीता जी जो कि अध्यक्ष हैं हमारी हिसार इकाई की विज्ञान भारती की, उनका भी अहम योगदान रहता है। हरदेव जी हमारे जो सेक्रेटरी हैं विभाग के हिसार इकाई के, आज वो उनका अभी हमें बाद में अभी वो उपस्थित हैं ऐसा तो मुझे नजर आ रहा है। और सभी पदाधिकारियों का भी कि उन्होंने इस अच्छे कार्यक्रम को आयोजित किया और समय समय पे इस तरह के कार्यक्रम विज्ञान भारती के द्वारा आयोजित किए जाते हैं ताकि हम अपने इस चीजों का प्रचार प्रसार करें और हर समय पे ये भी ध्यान में रखें कि हमें किधर जाना है। इन्हीं शब्दों के साथ मैं अपने वक्तव्य को विराम दूंगा। जय भारत।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद सर, आपके मार्गदर्शन और आशीर्वाद के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। अब मैं अनुरोध करता हूं विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई के कार्यकारिणी सदस्य प्रोफेसर दीपक केडिया जी से कि आप आज के इस कार्यक्रम में धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव के लिए आगे आए। प्रोफेसर दीपक केडिया जी।
धन्यवाद विवेक जी। सर्वप्रथम मैं विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई एवं गुरु जम्बेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय हिसार की ओर से इस कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी गणमान्य अतिथियों का हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं। हम सब के लिए यह एक गौरवमयी क्षण है कि अभियंता दिवस के उपलक्ष्य में आयोजित इस कार्यक्रम में हरियाणा प्रदेश के 4 विश्वविद्यालयों के माननीय कुलपति महोदयों का हमें सानिध्य प्राप्त हुआ है। सर्वप्रथम मैं आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य अतिथि प्रोफेसर टंकेश्वर कुमार जी का, जो कि कुलपति हैं केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय महेंद्रगढ़ के, उनका हार्दिक धन्यवाद करता हूं। सर, आपकी गरिमामयी उपस्थिति के लिए कोटि कोटि धन्यवाद। आज के कार्यक्रम में आपका मार्गदर्शन हम सब के लिए अमूल्य है। आज के कार्यक्रम के अध्यक्ष माननीय प्रोफेसर BR कंबोज जी, जो कि कुलपति गुरु जम्बेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय एवं हरियाणा कृषि विश्वविद्यालय के हैं, उनका मैं हृदय तल से हार्दिक आभार व्यक्त करता हूं। सर, आपकी निरंतर प्रेरणा एवं उत्साहवर्धन के लिए हार्दिक धन्यवाद। अब मैं हृदय तल से धन्यवाद करना चाहता हूं आज के कार्यक्रम के मुख्य वक्ता एवं माननीय कुलपति डिक्रस्ट मूर्थल श्री प्रोफेसर राजेंद्र अनायत जी का। सर, आपके प्रेरणादायी व्याख्यान के लिए कोटि कोटि आभार। सर, आपने बताया कि अभियांत्रिकी ज्ञान की उपयोगिता निरंतर विकास के साथ साथ मानवता कल्याण व प्रकृति संरक्षण की दिशा में होनी चाहिए। मशीनी विकास के साथ साथ हमें पृथ्वी पर सुरक्षित जीवन के लिए निरंतर प्रयासरत रहना है। सर, इस पहलू को और हमारा ज्ञानवर्धन करने के लिए हार्दिक धन्यवाद। अंत में मैं विज्ञान भारती एवं गुरु जम्बेश्वर विश्वविद्यालय से जुड़े सभी पदाधिकारी गणों एवं समस्त श्रोतागणों का हृदय की गहराइयों से धन्यवाद ज्ञापन करता हूं, जिन्होंने इस कार्यक्रम के सफल आयोजन में महत्वपूर्ण योगदान दिया। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दीपक जी। अंत में मैं आप सभी गण्यमान्य अतिथियों का एवं सभी श्रोताओं का दिल की गहराइयों से बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता हूं। आपने हमारे इस कार्यक्रम में जुड़कर इस कार्यक्रम की शोभा को बढ़ाया है। हमारे साथ डॉक्टर अनुराग गौड़ जी भी जुड़े, जो सचिव हैं हरियाणा विज्ञान भारती के। प्रोफेसर बिंदु मंगला जी भी थे, और हमारे साथ श्री प्रताप मलिक जी भी रहे। प्रोफेसर सोनिका, प्रोफेसर साथांश कुरुक्षेत्र यूनिवर्सिटी से, प्रोफेसर स्नेहलता गोयल, प्रोफेसर ओपी सांगवान जी, प्रोफेसर संदीप आर्य जी, और विज्ञान भारती हिसार की पूरी टीम इस कार्यक्रम में शामिल रही। बहुत से स्टूडेंट, बहुत से टीचर्स इस कार्यक्रम में शामिल रहे। आप सबकी गौरवमयी उपस्थिति से यह कार्यक्रम बहुत ही सफल रहा। इस सफल आयोजन के लिए हम सब बधाई के पात्र हैं, और इसके लिए मैं कार्यक्रम में उपस्थित सभी का विज्ञान भारती हिसार इकाई और गुरु जम्भेश्वर विज्ञान एवं प्रौद्योगिकी विश्वविद्यालय की ओर से दिल की गहराइयों से एक बार फिर से धन्यवाद करता हूँ। आपका दिन शुभ हो। एक बार फिर से सभी को बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। इसी के साथ कार्यक्रम
थैंक यू। 4 नहीं 5 वाइस चांसलर है, 4 नहीं 5 है। ठीक है। मैं बीपीएस को भी रिप्रेजेंट करता हूँ।
ओके।
ये 5 हो गए।
चलिए, आपने 5 तत्वों की बात की थी डॉक्टर साहब, इसलिए 5 का आंकड़ा है।
वही ये प्रताप
बिल्कुल सही कहा सर आपने।
बीपीएस को छोड़ नहीं सकता, इसलिए ठीक। थैंक यू सो मच।
ठीक है,
धन्यवाद।
थैंक यू सर।
सभी का धन्यवाद। नमस्कार।
नमस्कार।